Meet Jim. Not too long ago, Jim was fed up to his ears with the anxiety, stress, and frustration of looking for a job in this economy. He'd been constantly sending out resumes to potential employers, but barely getting any callbacks. He'd even turned to career centers, resume workshops, and the usual online resources, but nothing seemed to work. With bills piling up high and a hungry family to feed, something had to change, fast. One day, Jim decided it was time to try something new. His resume obviously needed more, something he just couldn't provide. He was broke, but maybe it was time for expert help. So Jim went out and spent several $100s on a professional resume writer. Afterwards, he started getting excited about the idea of having a professional write his resume. He thought his luck was finally going to change. But things went downhill fast. After a week and a half of back and forth questions and missed deadlines, a final version was delivered, and Jim could tell the resume writer hadn't spent much time writing his resume at all. Nothing seemed unique, and nothing demonstrated the true value Jim had contributed to former employers. After several weeks of applying, Jim was still getting turned down and had very little to show for the money he'd invested in his professional resume writer. Ouch! But a true winner never quits. Not knowing what else to do, Jim consulted with his friend, Emily, who had recently launched a career with one of the top firms in her industry. Emily had done her homework and explained to Jim that resume writers are paid a set fee to write each resume. So the more clients they get, the more money they make. And that causes a real problem for paying customers like Jim. There's just no real incentive to spend any more time on their resume than they need to. For example, if a resume writer charges $100 and spends 2 hours writing, their hourly rate is $50 per hour. But if they spend 6 hours writing the same resume, they make $16 per hour. So it was actually in Jim's resume writer's best interest to take shortcuts and get done faster because it meant a higher dollar rate per hour for him. However, real experts will tell you that winning resumes aren't created by cutting corners, but rather putting in the time it takes to effectively communicate value to employers. Emily also pointed out that the big, expensive resume writing companies didn't want Jim to know all of this because resume writing is big business. They wanted to keep him believing effective resume writing was rocket science, so they could keep charging him up the wazoo every time he needed to switch careers. So instead, Emily recommended a proven resume writing system called Resume Transformation. Jim was skeptical at first, since he'd already gone through several writing workshops, but this was not like any of the others. Luckily, he trusted his good friend Emily, and it was the best decision he ever made. You see, Resume Transformation taught Jim how to turn his worn-out, tired, run-of-the-mill, stale, overly professional, long-winded, big-worded, boring resume into an attention-grabbing, interview-getting, job-landing resume. Jim learned how to write resumes better than most so-called professionals. Because not only did Resume Transformation teach Jim how to leverage the trade secrets of top resume writers, but it also taught Jim how to reverse engineer the hiring process and harness the power of marketing to automatically make employers like and trust him. And it's all packed into a simple, easy-to-follow system designed to help the average job seeker like Jim learn how to make their resume stand out in an ultra-competitive job market, all without breaking the bank or relying on shady resume services. I mean, talk about easy. Resume Transformation is like fishing with a hand grenade. Jim didn't have to waste time staring at a blank page wondering what to write or which format to use. In fact, Resume Transformation even provided Jim with several pre-designed and pre-tested resume templates, proven to deliver incredible results time and time again. Additionally, he gained instant access to tons of copy and paste buzzwords, along with step-by-step video tutorials on how to craft juicy impact statements that made him irresistible to employers. After putting Resume Transformation into action, Jim turned the tables and his phone started ringing off the hook. Suddenly, his calendar was flooded with top job interview requests, and employers were chasing him instead of the other way around. Now Jim has a career he can be proud of, a reliable income to support his family, and a steady supply of food on the kitchen table. Jim's family couldn't be happier, and that means Jim couldn't be happier. Wow, thanks, Emily. Are you ready to get the inside secrets that make real winners in this economy? Join Jim and try the Resume Transformation Coaching Program risk-free for 30 days. If you aren't absolutely blown away by the response you get, simply send us an email and we'll give you 100% of your money back, guaranteed. No questions, no hassles. To get started, click the button on this page, and you too can be on your way to attracting more interviews from top employers who want to hire you. Resume Transformation. Standing out just got easier.